Welcome, Far Hill Fantasy Football League. 'Tis I, your commissioner. As we burn down the Far Hill, we go into Week 12 as we are getting to that ultimate playoff push 3 weeks ago. Let us recap the events of Week 11. Starting with Doofenshmirtz Evil Inc. taking you down to own brother superiority, 200 to 132. Doofenshmirtz, led by Greg Jennings, 60 points. Sweeps the series between the two brothers, so this year will go to the Doofenshmirtz, Evil Inc. Next up, Road Crew defeats Irish Cop 177-132 to sweep his brother's series with his only his second win, and his two wins were against his brother. Aaron Rodgers leads the way with 48 to pace those Road Crews, who now improves to 2-9. Outstanding. Bad Dog beats the Syndicate Enforcer, stops his 9-game winning streak, which to this point is the longest winning streak in league history. 8 was the previous one that I had located. It took me a while even to find that 8. But 224 to 182. As much as everybody was blasting me in my own house upon the Bad Dogs beginning to go off, three maneuvers, and I still could have beat him with all of his 224 points. So whatever. I've got the team. Sorry, started the wrong 3 people in a couple instances. Don't play your receiver against Darrelle Revis. I'm going to tell you this now. Santonio Holmes with 47 points in his BS and Jets, and we'll get all that later. So, yes. Word to the wise, do not play your top wide receiver if he's playing Darrelle Revis. Just letting you know. The Sagnasties of the John Boy's Special People defeats Agent P 204 to 147. Drew Brees, newly acquired from the Fat Bastards, 48 points. The trade with the running backs sort of went the way of Agent P because Adrian Peterson is really playing by himself at this point. Yes, so Sagnasties beats the P's of Agents. Steel Curtain beats Monthly Plugs 155 to 122. Reggie Wayne leads the way with 36. No real hoopla there. And Fat Bastard defeats the Bitchmaker 221 to 194. High scoring affair. Steve Johnson's 55 points that he thought he didn't start is when he came over to my house. Kind of funny. Leads the way for the Fat Bastard, who takes sole possession of the Homeboys division at this point and sweeps the series from the Bitchmaker. So here's your Week 11 recaps. And with the Week 11 recaps, we have our new rankings going into Week 12. The top 3 seeds really didn't change. Syndicate Enforcer still the top seed. 9-2. Fat Bastard and Steel Curtain tied at 8-3. Fat Bastard wins the head-to-head, so he's the 2 seed. Steel Curtain's the 3 seed. John Boy's Special Sagnasties moves to the 4 seed by way of beating the Bitchmaker head-to-head as they were tied. So Bitchmaker's 5. Doofenshmirtz stays at the 6 seed. Bad Dog right on Doofenshmirtz's heels with a equal 6-5 record is the 7 seed. And then the drop-off happens where Irish Cop 4-7, 8, taking you down 3-8, 9, Agent P 3-8, 10, Monthly Plugs 3-8, 11, and Road Crew 2-9, number 12. So there you go, top 6 in the playoffs going forward. So there's your seedings as we move forward. So moving forward, we will get to the Week 12 matchups. Yes. 11-seeded Monthly Plugs, 3-8, at the top-seeded Syndicate Enforcer, 9-2. This is our first ever meeting. This is the last. Actually, going into this Week 12 here, before I go a second further, is if you look at it, you'll see that the top 6 teams will be playing the bottom 6 teams this week in each of the matchups. So if you're thinking about making the playoffs, the top 6 teams, this is a spot where you probably need to win just to make sure that no one gets ahead of you. So if all of us win and do our business, then we get a nice coat of separation from the bottom 6, and there's less drama going into weeks 13 and 14. So, after saying that, monthly plug Syndicate Enforcer. No history. We've not played each other. This is the last of the under non-division weeks. I'm picking myself clearly. Enough said. Next up, number 3 seeded Steel Curtain, 8 and 3. At 7 seeded Bad Dog, 6 and 5. Steel Curtain leads the series 9-love. Wow. Last year was the matchup. Steel Curtain won 147-121. Bad Dog, coming off a huge win for him. I'm going to go out on a limb. This is the one matchup of the 6 non-starting, non-playoff teams that I think might be able to get something done. I'm going out on a limb on this matchup. I'm picking the Bad Dog on this one. But that might backfire due to the fact that the warning I gave earlier in this broadcast is playing Calvin Johnson, which is the Bad Dog's main guy. So I'm going there. It's going to clearly be a 1 on my wager scale, but we'll go with it. Next up, the 4-seeded John Boy's Special Sag Nasty, 7 and 4. At the 9-seeded, taking you down, 3 and 8. No history on this one. First time matchup. Clearly picking the Sag Nasties to keep the ball rolling on his front to try and get to the Outlanders division title. Next up, we have the 10-seeded Agent P, 3 and 8. At the 6-seeded Doofenshmirtz Evil Inc., 6 and 5. Doofenshmirtz leads the series 5 to 4, winning as Coda Boy last year, winning 154-104. Picking Doofenshmirtz because Agent P pretty much threw in the towel last week. Next up, the 12-seeded Road Crew, 2 and 9. At the 2nd-seeded Fat Bastard, 8 and 3. Fat Bastard leads the series 7 to 5. Won last year, 188-175. Close matchup. Clearly picking the Fat Bastard to stay on top of the Homeboys division. Next up, or lastly, is the 8-seeded Irish Cop, 4 and 7. At the 5th-seeded Bitchmaker, 7 and 4. Irish Cop leads the series 3 to 2. Bitchmaker did win last year, 204-168. No fanfare here. Picking the Bitchmaker, because if you lose to Road Crew twice, you probably don't need to be trying to advance. So unless the Irish Cop wants to get angry and do whatever, that's 2 places you can't lose. So yeah, picking Bitchmaker. There it is. So yes, there's our Week 12 matchups. Clinchings going into this week. Well, right now we already know the Syndicate Enforcer has clinched the playoff spot. Syndicate Enforcer just needs a win to clinch a division, or a Bad Dog loss will clinch the division anywhere in the next 3 weeks. After that, no, sorry, no playoff spot clinched just yet for the likes of the Fat Bastards or the the Steel Curtain. Just because we got 3 weeks ago and they're still, 3 weeks ago, and you only got 2-game cushion on those bottom, the top bottom 6 people. So you guys got to win, and I would say, for people like Fat Bastard, Steel Curtain, a win and a Bad Dog loss, then you'll get yourself in, get yours at least a locked up a playoff spot. So that'll put you, depending on if you beat him head to head, but. That's where it's at. That'd be the simplest clinching, division clinchings. Other than the away boys with me, with either a Bad Dog loss or a win by myself. No division clinchings there, and definitely no bye week clinchings coming. So that's where it is. Why does it look like the sun is beaming in? What is that? It's a reflection off of something. Time out, I'm just now noticing this. Yeah, that is the sun coming through the window. Hell. Producer, why didn't you see these things with the sun coming through the window? Now I gotta do it like that. Yeah, that's a little bit better. You guys are probably blinded by me, but I've moved over now because there's a beaming sun coming through the window. Sorry, it took me the whole broadcast to figure that out, but the sun moves fast. Crazy like that. So anyway, so there's your clinchings. Thanks to everyone who did come by the house on Sunday to hang out for my birthday. It was much fun. I'm stunned that we really don't do that really more often every season. I mean, it's almost like every third week someone should host a gathering like that. Just throwing it out there, just throwing it out there, just because, a lot of fun. Funniest gab was, you know, my dad complaining about me running the league and going all nutty, and Chris making a point. Well, if he didn't, get busy 34 years ago, we wouldn't have to worry about this problem. Yeah, it was really funny, really funny. And then you were wishing that I never existed. So it no, it stung a little, but it was funny. So. Yes, thanks everyone to come out for my birthday. Thank you, Crease, for my mini Bengals things, even though I've now officially banned the Bengals for the rest of the season. So I'm just going to hope they tank it and get one of the top two picks. Everyone keeps telling me Luck. I don't know if I want another quarterback, but Carson Palmer is pissing me off to no end because he keeps throwing pick sixes like freaking Brett Favre or somebody. So it might be Luck. I would love to have a dominant defensive presence on the line like an Ndamukong Suh, but I don't think there's one in the draft, so I'm just going to start my research for that. But yeah, enough babbling on by me. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And hopefully, if you're doing any traveling, safe travels. The snow is coming. And you have 3 games coming up tomorrow. So with that, I bid you adieu. Happy Turkey Day, people. Late.